Upton's ready. Let's do it here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The first pitch is fouled back, and we are underway. Nine-game hitting streak for B.J. Upton. A lot of questioning of the Yankees intentionally walking Longoria yesterday to pitch to B.J. Upton, who then got a single to center field. And the questioning started because Mariano Rivera actually said, I think I could get out anybody. But Joe Girardi said, I'm going to pitch around the guy who leads the major leagues in RBIs.
Well, Mariano's always had that confidence. You never see him pitch around hitters. Very rarely will he do that on his own.
And that's what was said on the mound. Mariano said, well, I think I could get him out. And Joe Girardi said, well, I want to walk him. And Mariano said, well, you're the manager. You do what you want.
Yeah, we saw that last year with Joe Girardi and Mike Mussina in Boston, and early in the year with Manny Ramirez and Poppy, Big Poppy in that lineup. And you can see this year Joe Girardi a little more decisive in those situations. He's going to make the call, and even with a guy like Mariano Rivera.
Upton started off slowly, hitting just 220, but 12 for 31 during this 9-game hitting streak. And the 2-1. Foul back, 2-2.
We'll get the scouting report on B.J. Upton. He is back on track. You know, Michael talked about his 9-game hitting streak, 322 over the last 15 games. He was hovering around the Mendoza line, 200 for the first part of the year, mainly through April. And the power supply is a little down. You know, he's only got 3 home runs this year. Now that he's getting a swing back, you expect that to go up. And shallow glider in center field, the way he plays center field.
Pitches upstairs, and the count is full at 3-2.
Notoriously a real shallow center fielder, but he can fly.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider for Yankees baseball on Yes. He does play shallow, but for the last 2 batters of the game yesterday, he was very deep playing doubles defense, and it paid off as he was there for Posada's drive and then Cano's drive for the final out of the 9th inning. The 3-2 to Upton. Just got a piece to stay alive. One with the slider there. The umpires in today's game. We've got Scott Barry behind the plate, Ted Barrett at first, the veteran crew chief Tim McClellan is at second, and Adrian Johnson over at third. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Chamberlain to Upton. Time is called. Tampa Bay is 4-2 against the Yankees so far this year, taking all 3 games they've played at Yankee Stadium. 3-2. Popped up. Mark Teixeira back. Waves off Cano. Makes the play in foul territory. 1 down. And that's going to bring up Carl Crawford. 34 steals. And he's been caught 3 times. Caught yesterday in the 9th inning at third base. A great throw by Jorge Posada. And the 34 stolen bases, it leads the major leagues. As a team, the Rays have stolen 90 bases at a success rate of 84.9%. The highest per success rate in Major League history is 87.9% by the 07 Phillies. There's a strike. Dodgers fastball is not in the mid-90s yet. Against Cleveland in the first inning, he was a 95-96. The highest one we've seen so far is 94. And the 1-1. Dribbled slowly toward Teixeira. He steps on the bag, 2 away.
Yeah, we talked about Jaba's first inning woes this year so far. Great start. Good curveball there to finish Crawford. Yankees have had trouble on how to pitch this guy, Crawford. He wastes so many pitches away. Much better hitters. You see Willie Ibar here with his numbers on the year, and a big home run yesterday off of CC Sabathia. A 3-run bomb into the bullpen off of a changeup.
Evan Longoria again not in the lineup. He pinch hit yesterday, was intentionally walked, as we mentioned. Bothered by a hamstring. Rays were late getting the lineup upstairs because they were waiting to see if Longoria would be able to go. There's Evan. And the count 2-0 to Ibar. There's a strike. And another strike. Count 2-2.
Good location. Look at Posada's target. Right on the corner, right at the knees. And Java's got that ability to make pitches when he needs to. We've seen him get into jams and out of jams. He can make a pitch.
Makes a pitch with a ground ball to Jeter. And Teixeira's there. And Java has thrown a scoreless first inning now in 3 of his last 4 starts. And Mark Teixeira's just tied a Major League record held by many with 3 putouts. Yankees coming to bat. Top of the first, Matt Garza is warming up. Now let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that's going to face Garza. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing left field, Johnny Damon. Mark Teixeira at first will hit third. Cleaning up, playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Jorge Posada. Hideki Matsui pinch hit, struck out yesterday. He'll be the DH. He'll bat seventh, good numbers lifetime against Tampa Bay. Nick Swisher's in right field. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field, Melky Cabrera.
So look at Matt Garza, born November 11th of 1983 from Selma, California. 11 starts, 4-4, 3.67, 73 and 2/3 innings, only 55 hits, 28-66 walks to strikeouts. Here is the G pitcher scouting report on Matt Garza. He does get out of the gate as opposed to Jabba. We talked about Jabba and the first inning troubles he's had. This guy's gone 1, 2, 3 in 9 straight starts in the first inning. Pretty impressive. Another first rounder. 2 first rounders pitching today. We had 2 first rounders pitching yesterday with David Price and CC Sabathia. He was the first round pick, the 25th pick in the nation in 05. And he's a fly ball pitcher. You know, when the ball's in the air and fly balls, opposing hitters are hitting 194 off of him as opposed to ground balls where the average is 272 for his career.
Derek Jeter digs in. And the pitch from Garza. There's a strike. What a difference a year makes for Derek. In 08 at this point, he was hitting 269 with 4 stolen bases. This year, 312 with 11 stolen bases. Each year he had 25 ribbies. He has more homers this year, 7-2. That one's grounded to third. Ibar. And there's one away. Let's take a look at the Tampa Bay defense. We've already met Ibar at third. You've got Brignac at short, Zobrist at second, and Pena, a Gold Glover, is at first. In the outfield, Crawford, Upton, and Joyce. That's left to right. Navarro behind the plate. He had 3 of the 4 errors yesterday. Matt Garza on the mound. Here's Johnny Damon. 1 for 10 lifetime against Garza. Jeter now 5 for 15. And a strike. count 1-1.
Well, you know you've been around, Michael, when you see his career numbers. Damon against Tampa Bay, about 154 games, almost a full season's worth of games versus one team. You could really square up the numbers and see how you do against individual teams.
Count 1-2. Garza can throw. Got a good arm. Got some hair on the fastball.
You can see why he's successful in the first innings of his starts. He's just no messing around. Here it is, hit it, goes right after him.
And he does that maneuvering with his glove before every pitch. At one point, he probably was tipping off pitches, and now he just moves the glove all the time to throw people off.
Yeah, generally that's what it is. That's just a deke from a pitcher. He open and closing the glove several times in case he wants to get a changeup grip or a different grip, just to disguise his pitches.
And the 1-2. 2-2. Garza came over from the Twins. Told you about that first inning in each of his last 9 starts. A 0.82 first inning ERA, 4.16 from the second inning on. Another broken bat for Damon and a ground ball foul. Just sheared off at the handle.
You know, feeling that Johnny Damon's got about 12 bats on the on-deck circle every time he steps up there. You know he's good for 1 or 2 a game.
It is amazing. He breaks more bats than anybody I've ever seen. And the 2-2. He struck him out. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, 2 away. So Damon continues his struggles against Garza, 1 for 11.
Right to the glove. Just no movement on that catcher's mitt at all. Just a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Perfect location.
Here's Teixeira. Look what he's done his last 19 games. 403. 10 homers and 30 ribbies. There's a strike. The only first inning run that Garza has given up this season was against the Yankees on April 14th. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs in that game. Count 0-2. Teixeira with 3 more ribbies yesterday. He has 50 on the season.
Kind of interesting. In yesterday's game, Teixeira got a high fastball from Dan Wheeler and hit a booming double in the gap. And manager Joe Madden, you can almost read his lips. Why are you throwing him a high fastball? Now we see Garza 2 straight breaking balls to open up this at bat.
Wanted to chase the fastball and count 1-2.
Teixeira's strength is up in the zone, especially from the left side of the plate. If you're going to throw a fastball, you better get it in a good spot down and away.
Laced into left center field, giving chase is Crawford. He's there, and he'll make the play for another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Garza and the Rays. So the Yankees go down in order, and we go to the second at the stadium. There's no score. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. brought to you by Verizon Fios. Over 100 HD channels on the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. And Andy Sonnenstein, 4 and 5, 7.07 for Tampa Bay. And Andy Pettit, Battle of Andes, 5 and 2, 4.33 tomorrow. Our coverage with the BP show will start at 6. And the pregame show at 6:30. First pitch right around 7:08, 7:09. We go to the second inning. There is no score here at the stadium. Both teams retired in order in the first inning. Carlos Pena will lead off against Jabba Chamberlain. And he gets plunked. So Pena gets hit by Chamberlain, and he's on first base.
We see Posada setting up in, and Jabba just kind of jerks it in. Sometimes pitchers do that when you're a little quick. You want to make sure you get the ball in, and you just kind of fly open a little bit. Certainly, you wouldn't think of any intent right there, Michael, leading off an inning.
I've always wondered this about pitchers. Jabba just hit him. And the first thing he does is he looked at his hand, as if his hand had a different brain. Did you look at your hand when you hit somebody?
I never looked at my hand, no.
Pitch is outside, 1-0.
I'd be looking for my catcher for a little help in case somebody was going to charge me. See Zobrist on the year right there. Just a breakout year for this kid. Had a great day yesterday. Switch hitter with power, getting a chance to play every day at second base now. Aki Iwamura is probably out for the season with a knee injury.
And a strike.
This guy's kind of turning into a little bit of a Yankee killer, too. He's had great at-bats against all the Yankee pitchers he's faced so far this year. Really been a tough out for the Yankee pitching staff.
And a strike.
What would Scooter call a guy like this, Michael? What, a Huckleberry?
Yeah.
Huckleberry? Yeah, well, that's this guy right here.
One-two, missed outside. Rays have won 4 in a row. They come into this game at 29 and 28. You see what Ben has done in 5 games against the Yankees this year. The Rays are only the second defending American League champions in the last 15 years to have a sub-500 record, at least 50 games in the season. The 03 Angels finished the season with a 77 and 85 mark. So Jabba hits Pena. We checked out how many hit batters you had, David. 106. And only Brady Anderson and Rafael Palmeiro were plunked 3 times by you.
I never liked those guys. They were tough. Baltimore had some tough lineups back then in the mid-90s.
3-2. He struck him out. Off-speed pitch. Zobrist down on strikes.
Well, this is the thing about Jabba. He likes 3-2 sliders, and tell you what, that's probably a strike too, and that's when you know you have a good slider. It's late, it's quick, it's a swing and miss, and probably in the strike zone as well. See Zobrist reads fastball way out in front. So Jabba will throw that slider on any count at any time.
Here's Matt Joyce. Came over from the Tigers in the Edwin Jackson deal. Just missed outside. Joyce has shuttled between the minors and the majors so far this year. He said something very interesting during the batting practice show, David. A lot of people say, well, Jabba can't throw 96, 97 the way he did in the bullpen consistently because the starter can't do that. But you said that a starter really shouldn't hold anything back and pace himself, right?
Well, there's a fine line there. You certainly want to come out early in the game and start off the game and make an impression. You want to establish your fastball. You don't want to hold back.
Rounded first base side. Nice play by Teixeira. Feeds Chamberlain for the second out.
We've seen Teixeira do this several times already this year, where he goes and gets the ball. He never lets the ball play him. He goes, attacks that ball, goes down to one knee, goes and gets it. Gets the short hop, takes a quick shot at second, and Java where he should be, covering first base plenty of time. That's what I like about Teixeira playing first base. A lot of first basemen hang back and let that hop play them. He's aggressive. He goes after ground balls, has good range and good wingspan.
Here's Gabe Gross. 2 outs, runner at second. Opponents get shut down to a 183 average against Java in this situation with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. And now that average just went down even more. As Gross swings at the first pitch, pops it up to Melky Cabrera, and that's going to do it. So the hit batter is wasted. No runs, no hits, no errors on one man left. We go to the bottom of the second. There's no score on yes. By Mercedes, your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. 1998 David Cohn coming back from a big finger, strikes out 14 batters while throwing a 2-hitter against the Marlins. Little Jack Russell Terrier nipped at your finger, and that allowed Duque to get into the rotation, but you came back strong.
That's right. That's how El Duque got his debut. I had to go to Joe Torre and say, Skip, I can't make my start. My mother's Jack Russell bit me in my pitching finger, and I can't grip my splitter. So
now, were you, like, petting the dog?
I was playing with him, little tug-of-war game with the rope, and he nipped me and got me just right on the side of my pointer. And I couldn't grip a ball for about a week.
Now, that was 11 years ago. Is that little dog still alive?
Veronica, she's got her own website. She's famous.
Here's Alex Rodriguez against Matt Garza. So she was a baby at that point in '98?
She was a puppy. And those Jack Russell Terrier puppy teeth, they're really sharp. They're like hypodermic needles. Got me just right.
Now, could you have pitched if it was a World Series game with your finger like that?
I could have pitched. I probably could have thrown a split finger, but I could have pitched. Yeah, the split finger with a split finger would be a tough pitch to throw. But, you know, Joe Torre said, we got this guy named El Duque, and we want to get a look at him. And, boy, that was a good look.
And they never looked back. Were you angry at Veronica?
At first I was. You betcha.
A lot of blood?
I can't say. Well, it was instantaneous blood, but I think I'll leave it right there. I don't want PETA getting on me. But
hey, Veronica's still with us, though, with her own website. 2-1. What people don't realize about that story, there's a backstory to it, is that El Duque actually gave David's mom that dog. Set the whole thing up.
Yeah, Veronica was actually born in Cuba. She came over, came over on that raft.
It's really Veronica. And the 3-1. Rodriguez pops it up shallow right. Coming on Joyce, he dives, can't make the play. And Alex picks up a single.
Well, A-Rod with a full swing into the bat, and Joyce just playing so deep and kind of stumbles on his way in. Just not a good jump, and then when he's going, he's trying to catch up, and he almost like his legs give out on him a little bit right before that. Right off of the web of the glove. The IOTV HD Super Shot.
So Alex gets himself a bloop single. And that's going to bring up Robinson Cano. 15 ribbies in his last 16 games. He's 11 for his last 40. And the pitch outside, 1-0. You could actually see Garza manipulating the glove even when he's in the set, which is somewhat slightly reminiscent of what we talked about yesterday, Louis Tion, how he would come down in stages. And the fact that he does it all the time, they allow him to do it, but they didn't, it would be a balk.
Well, you're exactly right, Michael. He's trying to disguise his pitches. Obviously, when he gets a grip on his changeup, he's wiggling right there, trying to disguise whatever he's trying to do with his grip. And probably at some point he was tipping his pitches. You know, the basic way you tip your pitches. See, he's set. He's at the set position there and fairly quick to home plate. But the basic way you tip your pitches and what hitters look for is a little fanning of the glove. And that usually happens when you've got to get more fingers on the ball, either 3 fingers for a changeup or split them for a split finger. See that little wiggle right there.
Another blooper, shallow right, going back is Pena, and it's a foul ball. And if you don't think that happens a lot, you're wrong. There are guys on the bench that they will just stand there and stare at the pitcher, and they'll try to pick something up, and it happens in big games. All you have to do is go back to Game 6 of the 2001 World Series, and Andy Pettitte was tipping his pitches against the Diamondbacks, and they crushed them, and that's what forced the Game 7.
There's a veteran team will certainly keyhole a pitcher's glove. See Robinson Cano tied up there with that pitch and fights it off. But certainly a veteran hitters, a veteran team. Cito Gaston up in Toronto is one of the best I've ever seen at it. Gene Tennis, his coach and sidekick. They could tell every little detail that a pitcher did with his glove.
Did you ever tip?
I did early in my career.
Which pitch did you tip?
I tipped really all my pitches. My breaking ball, I would drop my hands lower on my windup and then take my hands up over my head. And I didn't realize it until Tommy Herr, the second baseman for the Cardinals, actually came over to play with the Mets, and he told me, he said, we had all your pitches. You know, we knew exactly when you were throwing breaking balls. And mine wasn't so much a fanning of the glove. It was a different movement with my glove. I would drop my hands lower on my windup and then go over my head as opposed to straight up on a fastball. So they really had breaking ball and fastballs. They knew whether it was going to be off speed or a breaking ball or whether it was going to be a fastball, and they had every pitch.
And it shows you what good stuff you had because they didn't crush you.
They did not. And that's one of the points Tommy Herr made back then. He was probably my best years in terms of stuff with the Mets. And he made that point. We knew what was coming, but a lot of times we still couldn't do something with it.
Now, does your own team ever, study you and say, listen, you tipping the pitches right there?
Yeah, Mel Stoudemire was pretty good at it. Dwight Gooden had a problem tipping his pitches, and he would keep the ball in his glove. And every breaking ball, he would look into his glove and change his grip. And every fastball, he would look straight to home plate. And really that obvious. And it took us a while to even pick it up. And with Dwight Gooden stuff, nobody could hit him either in his first few years, even though they knew when a curveball was coming.
Runner goes, 3-2 is grounded right to Pena. He thought about going to second to take the out at first as A-Rod advances to second, so moving the runner kept the Yankees out of the double play there. Let's take a look now at the Toyota text poll. And today's question is, of these players currently on the disabled list, whose injury has been most detrimental to the Rays? You can text us at 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Your choices: Jason Bartlett, number 1, Akinori Iwamura, number 2, number 3, Scott Kazmir, number 4, Troy Percival. They all hurt in one way or another. It's hard to say which one hurts more.
That guy at the top plays shortstop, and he was hitting around 370. Yeah, that's a pretty good bet. But that number 3 guy, Kazmir, is a power lefty and a big part of your rotation as well.
Mr. Jorge is outside 1-0. Posada has not missed a beat since coming off the DL. 8 for 27. He's 2 for 5 lifetime against Garza. And a strike.
See Posada in the lineup today, backing up Cano. Teixeira, Rodriguez, Cano, and Posada today in the middle of that Yankee lineup.
1-1 upstairs, 2-1. Series ends tomorrow night. It's one of those wraparound series. It was supposed to be 4 games, but Friday's game was rained out, so that game will be made up later in the season. No date yet has been announced. And then the Yankees start a week of all weeks, 3 games against their 2 main rivals, 3 in Fenway against the Red Sox, and 3 against the Mets here at Yankee Stadium. Should be fun. 2-1. Driven out to deep left center field, up and back, still back. He's there and will make the play as Alex Rodriguez will head back to second.
Posada hits it well. Good swing, just hits it a little too high. And we talked about B.J. Upton and gliding. Easily gets to this ball. Just hangs up a little too high, even though it was hit well. No panic on B.J. Upton. Playing shallow, just gliding back. Knows he's got plenty of time. Even though he had trouble in center field yesterday picking up the ball on a couple of hits that got over his head.
Here's Matsui, struck out pinch hitting in the 8th inning on a check swing that really looked like it was a check swing, but Tim McClellan said he went around. Count 1-0. Likes to hit against Tampa Bay. 20 home runs against the Rays, the most he has against any opponent. Matsui's been working out in the outfield, and it's imperative that he's able to snap throw to second, and A-Rod just got back. It's imperative that he gets his leg in good enough shape that he can play in the outfield, because the Yankees will play 9 games in a row in the National League without a DH. If he can't play the outfield, he becomes a glorified pinch hitter, and at the most you get him 1 at bat a game.
Which can still be important in the National League style of play. Certainly that third at bat for the pitcher a lot of times can be the turning point in a National League game. That first pinch hitter off the bench.
Posada actually, not Posada, but Girardi has actually complained about the fact you should never have an American League team play 9 games in a row in the National League cities. He said you should stagger. It doesn't make sense to rob an American League team of an important part of their lineup for 9 straight games. which is true. The DH is big for the Yankees.
It is big. A lot of teams are built around DHs and their power hitters, as opposed to the National League guys who are looking at AAA for guys to call up to DH during those games when the situation's reversed.
Tries to pull an outside pitch and grounds it to second, and that's going to do it. So the bloop single by A-Rod is wasted with the leadoff. No runs a hit, and one man left. Let's go to the third. There's no score on yes. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the manager recaps his past homestand and looks ahead to the Red Sox and the Mets. And after that, it's the Emmy Award-winning Yankees on deck. It all starts today after the postgame, only on yes. When we go to the third inning here at the stadium on the Modell scoreboard, there's no score. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Jabba's day game numbers versus night game numbers, a little different. 1-0, 4.37 in the day. At night, 2-1, but about a run per game lower on ERA, 3.23. Whenever you have those splits and you see the guys that do better at night than they do in the day, those are the guys that David Cohn likes. Here's Deanna Navarro. And the pitch is low, 1-0.
Well, the majority of your games are at night, so if you do want to split, you do want to tilt it towards the nighttime.
It's like a switch hitter. If you're better from the right side, that's not good because there are more right-handed pitchers. But you said you like day games too because that means the rest of the day was yours.
Yeah, I liked it. I lived in New York City. I'd get up and go hit a Greek diner. I could eat at a Greek diner every day the rest of my life. I mean, that's what I love about New York. You got to get up, get out, get to the diner, get a good breakfast in, and look forward to that night. Get your work done during the day, and then you can beat the streets at night.
Now, what did you have at a diner?
Oh, everything.
Really?
Everything. Breakfast 24 hours a day at a Greek diner in New York. Just anything you want.
Little blue and white coffee cup.
Blue and white coffee cup.
With the Parthenon on it.
Big old glazed donut.
Hot shot and through for a base hit. Eating like that, how did you keep that athletic body?
They have good stuff at diners.
Not glazed donuts.
Jabba down.
Wow. Off the shoe top.
Shen high. Well, yeah, you're right, Michael. Just Posada almost has to go down to the dirt. Lefties can take that short path. Just drop the head, find the hole, and you got a base hit. I mixed in some oatmeal here and there, too.
Here and there.
Belgian waffle.
You were 46 games over 500 at night and 22 over 500 in the day. And you had a slightly lower ERA in the day, surprisingly enough. Now, would you shut it down the night before you're pitching a day game? Would you not go out?
Well, that wasn't always the case, no. Sometimes it's hard to sit in your hotel rooms, you bang off the walls.
Reed Brignat fouls it off, count 0-1.
Nothing wrong with getting out, taking a little stroll. walking around town a little bit, soaking in the sights.
Hey, the perfect game was a day game.
Indeed, it was. That was a good night, too, after that.
And the 0-1. Grounded softly. Oh, what a diving stop by Teixeira. He gets the out at second. What a play by Mark Teixeira.
You see Teixeira holding off the runner, and look at the range he gets, bouncing off the back after holding on the runner on first base. From his belly, makes the throw. Watch that range. You don't see too many first basemen that can range that far with a man on first. And that's covering some turf right there, and that's the only way. He's the only guy that can make that play at second. That ball gets to Cano, then you're hoping Jabba gets over and you can get a play at first.
Bunted out and missed. You know, we said this on the open of the broadcast when we reviewed what Teixeira did yesterday. You don't realize, and I'm going to use the word great, which you just don't throw out there. You don't realize how great a player he is unless you watch him play every single day, the things that he can bring. And you look at his numbers, and remember, he was dreadful in April. And his numbers are up there with the league leaders in mostly everything. He's really some kind of player.
And you know what? A lot of those hits just aren't padding your stats where you get hot, you get a 5-hit game here and there. He's gotten some big hits late in the game, clutch hits, clutch RBIs. Yesterday's example, not only did it hit a moonshot that almost got in the upper deck, but his double in the ninth put the Yankees in a position to come back, or at least feel like they still had a chance, even though they were down 4 runs going into the bottom of the ninth.
And then in the ninth, that big double to drive in 2 runs. And, you know, when you're down 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning and you could bring the tying run to the plate 3 times in a row, you know what? You've got no kick coming. Missed outside. I mean, the number 1 target for the Red Sox during the offseason was getting Mark Teixeira. And they're talking now, especially with David Ortiz struggling the way he is, how much they missed out on it because they set a price and then they didn't want to go a little bit higher, and they never thought the Yankees were going to join in. They thought the Yankees were not even a factor, and the Yankees swooped in at the last moment and got him, and the Red Sox still ruining that. That was the guy they wanted to get.
Yeah, when you look at the contract Teixeira signed, I mean, it's hard to say that he was undervalued, but you watch him play and you see how many more years he has and how solid a guy he is in terms of character in the clubhouse. You know, you probably should extend and pay what you need to get him. Another guy undervalued was K-Rod. You know, going to the Mets as a closer. I mean, the Angels are looking at that right now, thinking they severely undervalued him in their bullpen.
And there were a lot of teams that wanted Teixeira. Obviously, the Angels wanted him back. The Nationals were in play. The Braves thought they had a chance. And I think most people felt that he was going to end up with the Red Sox because he wanted to go back to the East Coast. The Orioles also wanted him. But he wanted to end up with the Yankees. Runner goes. 3-1 is grounded foul. Talking to Peter Gammons of ESPN on my radio show the other day, David, and he said that when Theo Epstein and Terry Francona went down to Texas to meet with Teixeira, it went really, really well, and they thought that they were going to get him. And then the owners met him, and he really didn't have a good feeling when he met the owners, and that kind of turned him off to the Red Sox. This is according to Gammons, so interesting take there. The Yankees, Brian Cashman swooped in, and that was it.
Well, that's what George Steinbrenner used to love, is guys that wanted to come to New York.
Runner goes. Driven the other way. Fair ball, it's trouble. It is a fair ball, and it goes into the corner. Reed Brignac is going to round third. He's coming home. He will score easily. It's an RBI double for Upton, who now has a 10-game hitting streak. Tampa Bay has a 1-0 lead.
outs. Another deep count for Jabba Chamberlain. Another 3-2 pitch. Fastball, outer third, just below the belt. You see Upton just kind of fillets it, just fights it off. Looked like he was sitting breaking ball, fought off the fastball, a fillet right down the line. Swisher's really got no chance. Easy double for Upton and an RBI.
What were you saying about George Steinberg?
Well, George, that's what he loved. You know, talking about Teixeira and finishing that point. You see Carl Crawford on the day, 0 for 1, 328 on the year.
Nub slowly toward third, charging his A-Rod. He barehand fires, and they get the speedy Crawford for the second out. That's quite a play by Alex Rodriguez.
Well, this is what it takes. You know, with Carl Crawford running, you've got to barehand it. It was his only chance, and he barely beats him. All in one motion from A-Rod. You got to barehand it, and you got to start your throw right now. He does it all correctly, and you can see how fast Crawford is. Barely half a step at best. He's out at first. And got a little tied up out of the box, which probably saved the Yankees in that situation as well. The thing George Steinbrenner loved to hear from free agents, and all through his career, from Reggie Jackson to any free agent that came through New York, George Steinbrenner wanted to look that guy in the eye and know that this is where he wanted to play and this is where he wanted to come. And I think that's the feeling you got with Teixeira at the end of the day. Even though he grew up in the Baltimore area, he idolized Don Mattingly. He came to the Yankees late in the day in this negotiation process when everybody assumed he was either going to go back to the Angels or end up in Boston. Baltimore Orioles certainly made a big play. It was Teixeira who said, I want to be a Yankee. George Steinbrenner loves that when talking to free agents.
Ibar fouls it off. The 2-1. Breaking ball for a strike. Backdoor breaking ball, 2-2.
The big pitch for Jabba right here early in the game, in the top of the third. 1 run's already in this inning. Strand this runner at third would be a nice lift for him to get back in the dugout. Conversely, for the Rays, if you can pick up a 2-out hit right here from Ibar, who had the big home run yesterday, then you're feeling like, okay, here we go, we're rolling. You see the balls and strikes, not great, 24-20. Jabba's average fastball so far has been around 92 miles an hour. He's gotten up to 94, 95.
And the 3-2. Served into left field. Johnny Damon is right there, and that'll do it. So he escapes giving up just 1 run. But it is 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 2.5 at the new house. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. By J&R Music and Computer World, and by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Hey, starting Tuesday night, Yes is the place for extended coverage of the Yankees against the Red Sox. Turn to Yes Tuesday at 6 for batting practice today, and then the pregame. Then after the game on My 9, turn to Yes for complete analysis and highlights with the W.B. Mason postgame. Now the coverage starts Tuesday night at 6, and it's right here on Yes. And in that game, it's going to be A.J. Burnett against Josh Beckett, a pair of former Marlins. Should be a good series. And there's A.J. They kind of rejiggered the rotation to get A.J. to start off the series after the rain out on Friday.
The Yankees feel like they're a little better prepared for the Red Sox this go-round after losing 5 straight to the Red Sox so far this year.
1-0 on the Modell scoreboard. Modell is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Pitch to Swisher as a strike. You know, we talk about it at length on the W.B. Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show, which will be on the 5 today. But Girardi actually admitted that this is a big series. A lot of managers try to avoid that. He said the fact that we're 0-5 against them and that we're going to battle them all year, we'd like to do well in this series. And sometimes managers or coaches don't like to say that because it kind of hangs the hat on them and puts pressure on the team. But he wants them to play better. He thinks that they're better than 0-5 against the Red Sox.
Texas is up in Boston today. Got an early 1-0 lead. Texas scored in the top of the first off of Dice K. Pitching Saturday in Fenway. Probably see him on Thursday if the rotation holds up. Got John Smoltz too coming back. The Red Sox suddenly, kind of like the Yankees, they got some extra starters. Going to figure out how they're going to juggle their rotation when John Smoltz will make his debut as a Red Sox.
John Smoltz was a little fired up earlier in the week the way the Braves released his buddy Tom Glavine. Tom Glavine wasn't too thrilled either. There's the standings in the East. The Yankees lost yesterday. The Red Sox won, so they flip-flop. Blue Jays 3 out, and the Rays 4.5 out. And the 3-1. Drilled deep to right center field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. Solo home run, Nick Swisher.
We'll see Swish. As Garza's a fastball pitcher, it's a fastball up and out over the plate. Swisher with full extension. Good high finish, a no-doubter. As we just saw, this is his 11th home run of the year.
And just his second here at the stadium. So he's been playing a lot better of late. He's now 5 for his last 10 and 11 for his last 26. So the Yankees quickly tied the game. And here's Melky Cabrera. And a strike.
Well, this pitch came in at about 93 miles an hour from Matt Garza and off of Swisher's bat with full extension, both arms. That's probably about 113 miles an hour off the bat, and Garza knows it. It's a tough pitcher, an emotional kid on the mound. Rosenberg taking a beating.
Looked like Nick was in an emotional jail there.
It's pretty apropos with his personality, huh? See Swish. Get out of the cage. What happened? Quite a character. You got a little faux hawk working now. Sported the long locks when he was in Oakland.
And Melky goes down swinging.
I guess that would be a Swish hawk. Huh? The Rays made that famous last year. Just about everybody down in Tampa Bay had a little hawk going last year during their run to the World Series.
Oh, whatever works. You got a new dude the last couple of days.
I did.
Very tight.
I had to pick up an award for Joe Girardi at the Alzheimer's dinner the other night. Since Joe couldn't make it, I went ahead and did the buzz cut and gave him, my version of Joe Girardi. So.
It's good luck.
You don't have to worry about it when you wake up in the morning.
Haven't washed it in 3 days, I bet, right? You don't even need to wash it. Here's Derek Jeter. That one's driven to right field and deep, giving Chase choice. On the track, it's in the corner. It's a foul ball.
Well, you can see this ball's leaking oil. It starts out fair, and it's just not going to get there. A little too much slice.
That's not the way to wear the glove. He had the glove, but it wasn't on his hand.
You're going to bring that glove to the game, and then you don't use it right, Michael. Boy, that's not good.
Grounded to third, Ibar, and they just get the hustling Jeter for the second out.
Ibar knows he's got to put something on it. Little high throw. Carlos Pena can place him first base. You see Jeter out of the box. He knows. Late burst. Not quite in time. Pena can place him first base as well. We got 2 first basemen that are Gold Glove caliber, and that guy's one of them.
Hits a Damon off speed strike. And that one, Pena can't get to. It's past him, and it goes up against the stands. Damon will go into second with a double.
Garza gets a changeup up and in the middle, and Damon's out in front of it off the end of the bat, but stays on it just enough to get it right down the line. Umpire's out of the way and making the call at the same time. An easy double for Johnny Damon.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Rip foul.
Well, that's the thing about Teixeira, especially from the left side, is he is always ready for fastballs. You see Garza there. It started him out with a couple of breaking balls in his previous at-bat. Tries to come inside on a fastball. Pretty good location. Teixeira puts one heck of a swing on it. Just foul.
Pitch high.
You kind of see Garza struggling with the secondary pitches. He's done so well in the first innings of his starts this year. As we said, 9 straight starts where he went 1, 2, 3 in the first. A lot of fastballs in the first. Now he's trying to get that curveball going and the changeup, and he's left a few of them up here the last couple of innings.
Now Teixeira's been lights out with 2 outs and runners in scoring position so far this year. 8 hits and 21 at bats. That's .381, and that's the situation he's in right now. Damon's at second with 2 outs. And he tries to pull that one. Charging from short right field is Zobrist. Just got him. Let's see. Teixeira thought he was safe. Mick Kelleher, talking things over with Ted Barrett, also thought he was safe. That's one time where the shift almost didn't work. He had a charge and fire. How close? Looks like they might have gotten it right. Tie game. Rivera's quit line quiz. Joe Madden made his managerial debut, albeit as an interim manager, with the Angels on August 21st, 1996. What team did he face? We'll find that out in the bottom of the inning. Madden spent 30 years in the Angel organization. Had pretty much given up hope that he'd ever get a shot at a big league job, and then the Rays came calling after Lou Piniella, and he's turned his franchise around as we go to the 4th inning. Carlos Pena got plunked on the hip in the 2nd inning, and he leads off. Swung on a miss.
Good changeup right there from Jabba Chamberlain. The first one he's thrown all day. Break it out first pitch to Carlos Pena, and it had good finish down.
Pitch is high.
One thing about Jabba, too, he's not afraid to shake off pitchers. You see there, it is a day for a little water on the neck. Summer is finally here. The Subway Series is on the way next weekend.
Grounded to first. Teixeira will take it himself. And there's one away.
Although officially not summer yet, Michael, but it just feels like the really first nice day we've had here in New York and in the Bronx for a Yankee game here. Just a beautiful day.
A couple of puffy cumulus clouds over the left field grandstand. Otherwise, pretty much clear blue skies.
78 degrees.
They always used to say in school when you would do that, like stand yourself, you know, that just makes you hotter because you're exerting yourself. But if someone's doing it for you, then it works.
Get a little Michael K fan going. What do you think? A little merchandising deal?
I'd just like to have any kind of fan. Count 2-0 on Zobrist. You ever feel overwhelmed by the heat on the mound? That it was just taking too much out of you?
No, I loved the heat.
Really?
I really did. I loved pitching in hot weather. My arm stayed looser, especially later in my career with some miles on my arm.
Took something off that pitch. 2-2. So those last couple of years, you should have pitched in Texas.
In retrospect, yeah, you know, last couple of years, I'd like a do-over, that's for sure.
Just missed.
One thing about Jabba is you see his pitches right there. 53 here in the top of the 4th with 1 out. He's not afraid to shake off Posada, the veteran catcher back there. We've seen him shake off Posada right there. He knows what he wants to throw. Generally speaking, Posada is the leader, but Jorge has been good with Jabba. They've talked. I've heard them talk before games, and hey, don't be afraid to shake me off if you've got a pitch you want to throw.
3-2. He struck him out. Off-speed pitch. Zobrist goes down on strikes for the 2nd time.
See Jabba getting into more of a pitching mode now. A couple of changeups this inning. Here's another slider down and in, and just such a good pitch because it's late, it's quick, it's a swing and a miss, and it's in the strike zone. You know, I've said that a couple of times, but to me, that is a quick read on how good your breaking ball is. If you can get guys to swing and miss at your breaking ball when it's in the strike zone, that says a lot.
There's a strike. Count 1-1.
Another changeup up and away. Kind of flew open a little bit on that, but you can see him starting to mix in all his pitches now. Really becoming a pitcher.
Grounded and stopped there by A-Rod. Scrambles to his feet, fires. And the Yankees have a good defensive game as the Rays go down 1-2-3. An outstanding play, second one today by Alex Rodriguez. Quickly to the glove side. Wipes the hand, gets up, and fires across the diamond for the final out. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 1-1. York State Smokers Trip Line quiz answer. Joe Madden made his managerial debut with the Angels on an interim basis August 21st of '96. Which team did he face? The answer is the Yankees. And the Angels won that game 7-1. Tie it all together. Here's Alex Rodriguez. How many times does a guy make a great play and lead off the next inning? Pitches inside. Tell you what, David, that Dr. Mark Philippon's done a pretty good job on Alex's hip. Doesn't seem to be any worse for wear.
No, he's getting stronger every day. And the fact that he hasn't missed any games, I expected a little setback here and there. Maybe give him a day or a couple of days off throughout this sort of rehab process he's been through, but he hasn't missed a beat.
Not one day. I mean, he's DH, but he's not missed one day out of the lineup. The 1-0. Missed 28 games with the surgery, and obviously still not where he wants to be with his swing, but you can see it's coming with the home run to right field yesterday. And then on Thursday, the base hit off the wall on right. And the 2-0. 2-1.
You know, it's really the psychological part too, Michael, with him and Teixeira in the lineup together. They take pressure off of each other. And how many times have we seen A-Rod come up in a big situation over the last couple of years, and it always seems like it came down to A-Rod. Now it doesn't. Now you've got Teixeira, you know, and now you've got Posada back this year, and you just don't get that sense that every at-bat A-Rod has is so game important.
2-2. A-Rod, Cano, and Posada here in the fourth. 1-1 game. Garza deals. Count 3-2.
See, Garza, even though he's got his team right in this game, he's kind of struggling. You see him pat his back leg there. He's having trouble staying back on his secondary pitches. His curveball and his changeup. He's got an outstanding fastball. Up in the mid-90s, topped out about 96 so far today. Probably averages 93, 94 with his fastball.
Tried to pull an outside pitch and grounds it to short. Brignac. One away. Both pitchers, the pitches must be moving because a lot of people rolling over on the outside pitch rather than taking it the other way, so the ball's moving toward the outside.
Garza almost 70% fastball today so far, but the last couple of innings trying to mix in that slider. Made a good pitch there to A-Rod on a slider down and away to get him to roll over.
And the pitch to Cano is a strike. .57 pitches for Garza, 35 strikes.
Tell him he's really struggling with that curveball. He's really getting on himself, pounding his back leg, left that one way up and away. Still doing a pretty good job of trying to work it, trying to mix it in.
Count 2-2. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. How you doing?
Garza go through about 3 or 4 signs trying to get to the pitch he wants right here. Ends up being a little changeup down on the way. Decent pitch that Cano spoils.
You know what we should do, David? We should do a game out where John Rose, that cameraman, is out in center field. That would be fun amongst all the fans.
Harry Carey style, huh?
Yeah.
Perfect.
John, you want company? Yeah, he does. Pitch is outside, 3-2. Didn't you once report for us from the bleachers for a game?
I did. Opening day, I sat in the bleachers with the Bleacher Creatures. Back in 02.
That was the first, one of the first games on Yes. 3-2. That was lined into center field. B.J. Upton right there. 2 outs.
I did. I was mic'd up for the whole day. 9 innings, Michael, and I probably did a spot of maybe a half of an inning. But I left my mic on for 9 innings. So the Yes Network's got plenty of ammunition on me. I'm glad they never used what I really said over those 9 innings.
I'm sure some of the fans were a little colorful too.
Fans were very colorful out there. Saw David Wells do it this opening day out there. With that big bald helmet, boy, he really stood out there at the bleachers.
Here's Posada. Flied out to deep center in the second. We're in the bottom of the 4th, a 1-1 game. Count 1-0.
So the moral of that story is, Michael, turn off your microphone when you're not on air, right?
That is the moral. Always be careful with a live mic. Grounded toward first and a foul ball.
.65 pitches here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs, 39 strikes. As we said before, his breakdown is about 37 fastballs so far out of those 66 pitches, which equates to about 67% of the time Garza features his fastball.
There's a strike. The 1-2. Rip foul. Posada calls time.
That's the old Bernie Williams bug in the eye trick right there, Michael. Trying to slow down Garza here. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 4th. He's up 1-2. Bernie Williams is famous for that.
1-2 pitch. So there were really no bugs in Bernie's eyes? They were fake bugs?
They were fake bugs. Midges are in Cleveland. We don't get those in the Bronx. Anything you can do just to slow down a pitcher's rhythm. Step out, call timeout. You see Posada's not real anxious to get in the box right now. Garza loves to work quickly. He's already standing on the mound. Posada's just trying to slow him down a little bit here.
That one is ripped and tossed. Carlos Pena in the right field. That ate him up. It was hit so hard. And that will be scored a single. This is a replay in real speed.
Just a short hop, too. Watch how close this bounced. Yeah, within 5 feet and a high hop right by him. Anytime you get those line drives and they make it to the dirt, those are the toughest ones. That's what the infield grass is for, to help slow down the ground balls or the hard smashes like that. And that one never touched the grass.
Here's Matsui. And a strike. Texas has widened its lead over the Red Sox to 4-0 top of the third. The 0-1. Grounded to second. Zobrist is there. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the fourth. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 4 full here at the stadium. Yankees and the Rays 1-1. Here at Yankee Stadium, it is a 1-1 game. The Rays scored in the third inning on a double by Upton, and Alexa's scoreboard shows you that the Yankees also scored in the third inning on a home run by Swisher. 1-2-0 Tampa Bay, 1-4-0 for New York. So Jabba Chamberlain has pitched well over 4, allowing just those 2 hits, both of them in the third, and it'll be the bottom third of the order: Gross, Navarro, and Brignat. Count 1-0. Rays had 11 walk-off wins last year, and Gabe Gross was responsible for 3 of them. So he's kind of like the Melky Cabrera of Tampa Bay. Strike.
It's a good fastball right there from Jabba. Kind of holding true to form. His velocity tends to go up throughout the middle innings, and certainly starting to show that so far this inning.
Right off the fist, and a fly ball to Swisher. He misjudged it. It took off. There's 1 away. Hey fans, now's your chance to own a piece of history from the original Yankee Stadium. Seats and other memorabilia now on sale at Yankees.com. All memorabilia comes with a Yankee Steiner letter of authenticity. More information and to purchase original Yankee Stadium seats and other memorabilia, visit Yankees.com today and click the shop tag. There's the old girl. Standing sentry on the first base side of this ballpark. Navarro takes a strike. Navarro started off the mini rally in the third with a single right field. Really a pitch off his shoe tops. Lined it through the right side of the infield. That one's ripped foul.
Breakdown of Jaba's pitches so far. He's got 34 fastballs out of his 61 pitches. About 56%, 24 breaking balls, 40%, and about 3 or 4 changeups we've seen.
Just a bit outside.
I think that one would have hit the bull in Bull Durham right there, Michael. Just in case. Watch the Usher in the back.
Never flinched. Big time Usher. Fairly economical, other than that rough third, but that's not terrible. Pitches outside. A-Rod way off the line at third for Navarro, swinging from the left side. Good breaking ball. Nubbed in front of the plate. Posada calls off Jaba. And that's off the glove of Teixeira. As Navarro will go to second. He's going to stop right there. That was thrown right into the runner, and Teixeira didn't want to get his arm broken and pulled back the arm. We'll see who gets the error.
A cue shot on a slider right out in front. Good pitch. And you can see Posada's got plenty of time, and he just slings it sidearm. And that's on Posada the whole way. You see his reaction right there. He's got plenty of time with Navarro running. Kind of drops down a little too low with his angle. Little Laredo throw from Posada. No doubt about it. That's on Jorge, and he knows it. He had plenty of time to take a crow hop and throw from over the top.
So 2-base error on Posada. Pitch to Brignac is high. 1-0. After 18 straight games without an error, this is the 5th straight game the Yankees have with an error. High fly ball. Johnny Damon coming on. 2 outs. Yana Navarro, originally out of the Yankees system. Talking things over with Robinson Cano as Brignac heads back. And now the dangerous B.J. Upton. Upton had shoulder surgery during the offseason and missed the first week of the season. And started off slowly as he was still trying to build up strength, but certainly has been hitting well now. Has a 10-game hitting streak. Pitch outside. Tampa Bay is 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position so far today.
Big spot for Jaba right here. Good time to pick up your catcher Posada, who made the error that put the runner in scoring position. You get 2 outs. You got a hot hitter up in Upton. Now you've fallen behind 2-0 with Crawford on deck. Nothing worse than if you're a pitcher and somebody makes an error, whether it's your catcher on a throwing error or anybody behind you, and you don't pick them up, and that run ends up scoring. You know, that's a tough spot for a pitcher. I usually thought in these situations it's my job to pick up Posada. And if Jaba can get out of this, you can believe that Posada's going to feel a lot better about that throwing error.
Grounded in the hole. Backhanded by Jeter. The long throw got him. So he does pick up his catcher. No runs, no hits. 1 error and 1 man left on base. Speedy Upton hits a hot shot in the hole. Jeter backhand gets it right at the heel of the glove. Steadies, fires, got him. We're halfway through. It's a 1-1 game on Yes. Stadium on Tuesday, June 30th, when the Yankees take on the Mariners. The first 18,000 fans in attendance are going to receive a Yankee Stadium inaugural season T-shirt, courtesy of Supercuts. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Nick Swisher, the Yankees' only run on a home run by Swisher, and the third inning leads off the bottom of the fifth. There's a strike. Swisher is 3 for 5 lifetime against Garza. The Lexus scoreboard shows the Yankees with 4 hits, the Rays with 2. Each team with a run. The Yankees have committed 1 error. Count 1-1.
Swisher just seems to be getting good looks at Garza. Garza, as we said, predominantly a fastball pitcher with a hook and a changeup. Swisher seems to be locked in. Some pitchers you just get a better look at. You just see it out of their hand. You anticipate their delivery a little better.
Our colleague John Flaherty always interestingly says that you can tell how a guy's swinging by how he just takes a pitch. He doesn't seem rushed, and he knows exactly, looks it right into the glove, no panic at all. And as a catcher, I guess he picked that up. That's what you look for. The 2-1. And the count 3-1.
There's a prime example right there. A good 2-1 changeup from Garza, just down, and Swisher didn't even offer at it. It's like he's seeing it out of his hand. And Swisher's got a couple of home runs off of Garza lifetime and hitting .750 off of him lifetime.
And he walks. So a leadoff walk for Nick Swisher. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. That's going to bring up Melky Cabrera. Now it's the 5th inning. Melky's certainly done a good job this year. Do you bunt? Now the Rays are expecting it. Ibar is playing in at third.
A good idea, you know, even if you don't bunt, as you see Melky Keyhole and Rob Thompson giving the signs down at third base, and obviously coming from the bench from manager Joe Girardi. But now you've got the infielders moving. You've got Ibar in at third even more. You've got the middle infielders moving around, and Pena obviously holding the runner at first.
Not bunting. And the count 2-0. Now Navarro wants to talk with Garza.
See, any sort of distraction you can create for a pitcher, Michael, really works. Even Melky with a little fake bunt on the first pitch. You got the infielders moving. Garza not sure what he's going to do. You got the distraction with the runner at first. Throws ball 2. Looks like they're thinking the same thing. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out to discuss it with Garza. Tell you what, that's a big league goatee he's got there, Michael, huh?
It's almost like a Billy goatee.
It takes some time to grow it out like that.
It's different. And they're still playing in for the bunt. And the count 3-0.
Great, a little distraction for the pitcher, a little loss of concentration. The next thing you know, you got a man on first, you got a 3-0 count, and the Yankees got something going here in the bottom of the 5th.
tagging and a strike. Melky struck out in the third inning. 80 pitches for Garza, so it's getting up there.
Well, he's a horse. You know, he's capable of going up to 115, 120, even though he's still relatively young in his career.
Runner was going, so Girardi trying to open up a hole on the right side. And the ball fouled back.
It's a good idea there on a 3-1 count. You know you're probably going to get a good fastball to hit. Melky did and missed it. Swisher on the move. A little unusual. They got Zobrist, the second baseman, covering on that with Melky, the lefty. So they know Garza's going to feature sinkers or fastballs away and keep the shortstop in place in case Melky tries to shoot it that way.
Well, you run him on 3-1. Do you run him on 3-2? 25-year-old right-hander sets at the belt, wiggles the glove. Runner goes, again fouled away. So Swisher getting in some aerobic work.
I like the idea. Go ahead and get something going here. Garza and Jabba in a pitcher's duel. That time actually had the shortstop covering. So that shows you the middle infielders are keyholing on the signs and know which pitch is coming, and that determines who's going to cover with a man running, either the shortstop or the second baseman.
Runner goes, pitch is high, so 2 straight walks to open up the inning. That's going to bring up Jeter. Okay, now the question is, do you bunt again? Or do you bunt this time? Rob Thompson goes through the signs. Derek is grounded out to third twice.
Well, speaking from experience, when I'm on the mound in this situation, you know, a little fake bunt on the first pitch, unless Jeter thinks he's going to get a good pitch to hit on the first ball. But just to keep creating that distraction for Garza, it seemed to have worked the last at bat. Get the infielders moving. Ibar's not sure. Tampa's got a chance to put on a play here, possibly the wheel play where the shortstop can cover third and the third baseman crashes.
And Jeter tries to bunt and fouls it back. So a 94-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs.
Jeter wants a do-over here. That's one he probably shouldn't have gone after. It's ball one. One of the keys to bunting is to get a good ball to bunt. To pull back and take that for ball one, it changes the entire situation. Conversely, from Garza's standpoint, you see him Jeter there. You throw the ball up in the zone, try to get him to pop it up if he tries to bunt again.
Ibar in on the grass at third, and Pena on the lip of the grass at first. They're kind of hedging their bet with Jeter. He is bunting again, takes the pitch low and away.
So far, as you see, Girardi giving the signs, clearly controlling this situation to Rob Thompson. Tampa Bay has played it straight up. No wheel play, no trick plays, just the third and the first baseman crashing, which tells Jeter, bunt the ball to third base. The only way you get trapped is if they put on the wheel play where the shortstop breaks and covers third, and the third baseman can come in and make a play at third.
And a foul ball. In all likelihood, that kills the bunt.
Just don't see many sophisticated bunt defenses anymore, Michael. It used to be really an art of the past, and with the Mets, Keith Hernandez used to do it so well, crashing from first. And putting on a wheel play on a bunt situation can really be effective if timed properly, where Tampa Bay has played it straight up, but obviously now with 2 strikes, Jeter will be swinging.
Soft ground ball towards second. They get 1. That's all they get as Melky goes in hard. Not hit hard enough to be a double play.
It was a little softly hit, but Melky does a good job. But I tell you what, he could probably reach the base there, but he's borderline, clearly going out of his way to make sure that Melky breaks up this double play. You can see coming in late, coming in high, but just close enough to the bag to make it legal.
Raise a double play depth for Damon. Damon doubled his last time up, 1 for 2. And the pitch outside, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Each team scored a run in the 3rd. The zeros on the board otherwise. Joe Nelson pitched yesterday, warming for the Rays. This will be the 90th pitch for Garza. Went off speed and went outside, 2-0. Teixeira waits on deck.
Johnny Damon's been so good in these situations all year to just get his pitch middle in and down a little bit, and that's the swing that he's been devastating on all year.
And a strike, 2-1.
Lets that one go away. A little too much away and up for Johnny right there. With Teixeira on deck, Garza's pretty much just got to resign yourself to throw fastballs away unless you can throw a good changeup in there, but trying to get a ground ball, trying to stay away.
Oh, shattered bat, slow roller, and they have Swisher hung up. Bad throw, but a good scoop by Ibar. And finally, Swisher is tagged out as the runners are on 2nd and 3rd now.
Garza crosses everybody up with a high, hard one, and Johnny just can't get out of the way. Broken back on a check swing. Garza the right play. Little short hop, gets away with it. Nice play by Ibar to pick it, but here Swisher does an outstanding job of just staying in the rundown. Stay right there, and now you're no worse for the wear. Johnny Damon's able to get to second base. Now you're 2nd and 3rd, and no different if otherwise he had held at 3rd. So obviously the Yankees still 2nd, 3rd, now 2 outs.
Now A-Rod's on deck. Garza's a righty. How careful will they be with Teixeira? Second baseman is in short right field. That's Zobrist. 3 infielders on the right side. If you're scoring at home, the fielder's choice 1-5-2-6. Garza will work from the full windup. Jeter on 3rd, Damon's at 2nd. Count 2-0. Two outs and runners in scoring position. A home run, 11 ribbies at .364 average, 8 for 22. This is not an intentional walk, David, but it's pretty darn close.
Well, we saw yesterday, you know, with Teixeira jumping all over the high fastballs, that Garza was not going to give in and give him a fastball, a curveball, and 2 straight changeups. On a 3-0 count, I'd be real surprised to see Teixeira get anything close to hit.
And there's a strike. This is what we talk about with protection. The hotter A-Rod is, the less likely they could pitch around Teixeira in a situation like this. They've got to give him a pitch to hit rather than deal with A-Rod. 3-1. And he got him. Took something off of it, pops it up, and Navarro makes the play for the final out of the inning. So the Yankees waste an opportunity. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. A ground out by Damon, and then a to pop up on a change. Yankees strand 2. We go to the 6th, 1-1. Today's Toyota Texpo. Once again, the question was, of these players currently on the disabled list, whose injury has been most detrimental to the Rays? You've been texting us at 58772. Here are the results. 53% of you think it's Scott Kazmir. And Carl Crawford leads off. Pitches high, 1-0. 1-1 game as the Yankees waste an opportunity in the 5th. Count 2-0 to Crawford. Yankees have stranded 5 through 5. The Rays have stranded 3. There's a strike.
The key inning for Jabba right here. His pitch count's in good shape. 72 pitches coming in, but you got the top of the order here. At least Crawford in the 2-hole.
Odd swing. Kind of tied him up.
Up and in with a fastball. Crawford tries to check his swing and just can't hold up. And probably the best thing is to let that bat go rather than maybe hurt your wrist trying to start a full swing and stop it in mid-sitting.
And Posada wants to talk with Jabba along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. And a beautiful Sunday afternoon at that. It's a 1-1 game, top of the 6th inning. 74 pitches for Chamberlain, 41 strikes.
See there, Jabba was trying to shake off Posada. Posada wanted to come in with a fastball, and Jabba probably wanted to go to the slider. Posada wouldn't have it. Right out to talk to him and discuss it. What do they want to do here on this 2-2 pitch?
Slider. Whoever wanted that one wins. 1 away.
Looks like Jabba. And it was a dandy. His signature pitch is out pitch, that slider, because it's so late breaking down and into lefties. You see Crawford reads fastball the whole way. And the ball just does not get there. It disappears. Oh, another good changeup from Jabba. He's featured his best changeup to both Ibar and Pena. First pitch one there with good movement down and away. Once again, you see Jabba's velocity going up here in the 6th inning. His best fastball of the day right there at 96 miles an hour.
Hot shot and off the glove of a lunging Cano, and it goes into center field. So Ibar picks up a single.
Another fastball up and away. Doesn't quite get it out. Kind of a looping line drive. Short hops Cano. Tough play. Would have been a really nice play if Cano comes up with that.
There's a dangerous Carlos Pena. He was hit by a pitch in the second, grounded out to Teixeira in the fourth.
Even though Pena has a low average at 220, obviously home runs was 17, but his on-base percentage is very high too. He does work walks. He does still get on base.
Line drive and just past the lunging Cano into right field. A base hit for Pena. Yankees this close to a 1-2-3 inning.
Another changeup, pretty decent. Maybe a little too much of the plate, but down, and Pena's off the end of the bat. Just gets enough of it. Hear that sound, kind of a clanky sound off the bat. Just enough to get by Robinson Cano, who was shading him in the hole already.
Here's Ben Zobrist, who has struck out twice against Chamberlain. Off-speed pitch. Missed outside, now 2-0.
Two straight sliders to Zobrist, who's been a hot hitter coming into this game and against the Yankees all year. The big pitch right here.
That one's drilled deep to right field. And it's a foul ball into the second deck.
Zobrist yesterday got a slider from the right side and drilled it into the left field seats for a home run. Just missed another one right there on a 2-0 slider from Java. A little bit up. Zobrist just a little out in front.
Fastball upstairs. Now Posada wants to talk things over with Java Chamberlain.
Java's shown that even though he gets in jams, he can make pitches when he needs to. And here's a situation where he needs to make a pitch.
Popped up and out of play. So we go to 3-2.
One of those things when you're trying to evaluate starting pitchers, and obviously the debate with Java, the bullpen debate that continues to rage on in New York amongst the talk shows and the radio shows, is, for me, it's just that innate knack to be able to make a pitch when you get into a jam. You reach back and know that you never panic. You know that you're one quality pitcher getting out of this. You get a ground ball right here. You get a double play. You get a 3-2 pitch. You don't panic. You still make a quality strike. You take your chances. The job has shown the ability to do that.
And the payoff. Lofted into left center field, giving chase. Melky Cabrera, he makes the play. An outstanding play by Cabrera, saving an extra base hit and at least one run.
The slider down and out over the plate, and a slicing line drive just going away from Melky. That's the only way you can make that play, is to get a great jump and to dive and lay out. Even though he probably got there in time, his momentum carried him into the dive.
Melky Cabrera has done an outstanding job at both the plate and in the field so far this season. Here's Matt Joyce. And the pitch outside.
A big pickup for Jobber right there. Tough hitter, Zobrist. Left a slider down and out over the plate. Zobrist hit it hard and slicing away from Melky. A huge play.
Saw some daylight there, but Jeter could not beat Ibar to the bag.
Smart play by the veteran Jeter there. If you can steal an out right here to get out of this inning when you're in a jam, it's always a good time to take a shot.
Count 2-0. Joyce is 0 for 2. Grounded to first and grounded to third. And now the count 3-0. So Java throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. And now he's working the count 3-0 against Joyce.
Missing badly up. Just rushing his delivery.
Right down the middle. 3-1. 90 pitches for Chamberlain, 50 strikes, 40 balls.
Shot his pitch count up. 20 pitches this inning so far.
And now that count's going higher as he's loaded the bases. 106 pitches the last time out in 8 innings. Dave Island's going to make a trip to the mound. This more of a break in the tension trip, or just change the pace of the game?
I think a little bit of both. It gives the Yankees bullpen a chance to get stirring a little bit. We all know about Jaba's pitch count limit. He's now up at 90. You see Mike Harkey, a lot of guys down there starting to get up, move around, stretch. Jaba can get a quick out here. They might run him back out for the 7th, but as of now, you know, this long inning, this 21 pitch inning so far, has probably got a good chance of getting Jaba out of this game.
Well, he wants to keep it 1-1, so Gross is very, very big. He's 0 for 2. He's fly to right and fly to center. Dropped a slider in there for a strike. He got a lot of faith in that pitch. And Aceves begins to throw.
First pitch, come right back to it. You miss with some fastballs up and out over the plate. Fell behind the last hitter 3-0 with fastballs. Good call by Posada. Get that breaking ball over. First pitch strike. If you could throw your breaking ball for strikes, you could set up the whole at-bat.
Nice stop there by Posada. Ibar's at third, Pena at second, and Joyce is at first. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-1 game, top of the 6th inning.
And Gross has got a little bit of pop. You know, he's got 3 home runs this year. He's got 36 in his career. This short porch in right field, it's certainly very reachable for this guy.
And the count 2-1. So Jaba really laboring. He's thrown more pitches this inning than in any previous inning. His high was 19 in the third.
He just lost a little command on his fastball, even though early in this inning his velocity went up on his fastball. He seems to have really lost a feel for spotting his fastball in this particular inning.
And the 2-1. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Ibar scores. Pena scores. Joyce moves to third. It's a big 2-run single for Gabe Gross. And Tampa Bay takes a 3-1 lead.
What's another fastball? Up and out over the plate. Gross doesn't try to do too much with it. Almost sounded like he broke his bat a little bit, but gets just enough of it up the middle, and Robinson Cano was shading him towards the hole a little bit there.
So a sudden turn of fortune for the Yankees and for Chamberlain. And that's going to bring up Deanna Navarro. So Tampa Bay now leads 3-1. Navarro's 1 for 2. Reached twice, though. Single right and then reached on Posadas. 2-base throwing error. And you're right, David. He lost command of the fastball.
He had it in the first few innings coming out. He established it early, and he threw a lot of breaking balls for strikes and finished guys with sliders down and in, especially lefties. But this inning, just lost complete feel for throwing his fastball for strikes. Still very much in the game, though. You want to strand this runner at third base. You've given up the lead. You've given up 2 runs here. Still get your team in the dugout. Jaba's just thrown 11 strikes to 26 hitters on first pitches today.
1-1, runner goes. The throw to second, not in time. So a stolen base for Gross as Joyce stays put at third.
Good jump, high leg kick from Jaba. Not really worried about the runner. Just makes this at bat that much more important coming up. Posada with a decent throw, a little high, really didn't have a chance. Now you got 2 runs out there you got to strand in scoring position against Navarro right here ahead, 1 and 2.
91st stolen base of the year for Tampa Bay. 1-2. And the 96, or check that, the 91 stolen base. Well, the next closest team in Major League Baseball, the Angels, at 64. So 27 more than the second place team. And this will be Jaba's 100th pitch upcoming. And it will be his 30th pitch of the inning. And the 1-2. He struck him out. But the damage has been done. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-1 Tampa Bay. Second and third and 2 outs. He strikes out Diana Navarro to end the inning, and you could mark that a K on your scorecard. And for more delicious kind of K, try Green Mountain K-Cups from WB Mason. A perfect cup every time, a fresh cup when you want it. Big strikeout. Well, now Joe Maddon's going to try to mix and match out of the bullpen. Jabba Chamberlain is the pitcher of record on the losing side. Matt Garza on the winning side, but Garza has to turn it over to the bullpen. And this call to the bullpen brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. And Joe Nelson, who pitched well in yesterday's game, takes over for Garza. High ERA, more than a hit per inning, and more walks than he'd like. He's going to face Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano, and Jorge Posada. Up and in. Two-thirds of an inning yesterday for Nelson. 1 strikeout, no hits. Two and 0.
Nelson not a power guy. Upper 80s with his fastball. Really good changeup is his best pitch.
High fly ball, right field. Matt Joyce coming in, still coming in. 1 away.
Cano on the day, 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. A-Rod got a 2-0 fastball right there from Nelson, just a little bit out and away from him. Sometimes hitters just get themselves out, Michael, and if you're Nelson on the mound, you're feeling pretty good about that. Throw a fastball up and out over the plate on a 2-0 pitch, and A-Rod pops it up.
Here's Cano. He's 0 for 2, grounded to first and fly to center. Off-speed pitch for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. So the Yankees will have to try for another comeback today as they're down 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Count 1-2.
You almost get the sense with the Yankees this year at home, Michael. It's almost like an NBA basketball game. You just tune in for the final 2 minutes and all the excitement comes. I think the crowd kind of senses it. The Yankees obviously very much in this game. Jabba disappointed that he gave up the hit to give up 2 runs in the lead. Now down 3-1. The Rays today kind of mixing and matching their bullpen. Don't really have a defined closer with Troy Percival on the DL. Joe Maddon's just going to go with matchups as you see a dejected Jabba Chamberlain there. Had a good outing going today until that last inning, over a 30-pitch inning.
Count 2-2.
We've seen so much late game drama from the Yankees at home this year. You just wonder, everybody's sitting around waiting to see what happens today. Including that guy right there, Joe Maddon, who's trying to figure out how he's going to piece together the final few innings of this game without a defined closer.
Swing and miss. Get a scoreboard update and go to the Yes Network studios in Nancy Newman. He's having some season. Thank you, Nancy. He's an amazing pitcher, David.
Some career. I tell you, he's a cut above. You know, he's the best pitcher in the game in my mind, and there's several great ones out there. But none as established as he is right now in terms of his repertoire, his depth in the game's ability to go 9 innings. He is certainly a cut above.
Fausto Carmona of the Indians should use him as a template because Carmona was just sent down the rookie ball. And that's what happened to Roy Halladay. And look where he's come back from. As Crawford puts away the high fly ball from Posada, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3, and we go to the 7th inning. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay. The Yankees close out this series with the Rays right here at Yankee Stadium. The coverage will start with batting practice today, presented by Audi, and then the pregame. It's the Rays and the Yankees tomorrow at 6. It's only on Yes. Andy Sonnenstein against Andy Pettit. And we go to the 7th inning. A new Yankee pitcher is Alfredo Aceves. So Jabba Chamberlain's day is over. He can lose, he can't win. So it gives up 3 runs in 6 innings, and that is a quality start in baseball. That's considered a quality start. Aceves has been quality. 10 games, 3-1, 2.95, 18 hits and 21 in the 3rd innings. 20 strikeouts, 5 walks. Does not have overpowering stuff, but he knows how to pitch. Here's Reed Brignac. Pitch outside. Served into left center field. It's a base hit. Damon cuts the ball off, so Brignac on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, Aceves tries to throw a cutter and then almost backs up. You see Posada's got to move his glove up and out over the plate. Brignac just kind of serves it in the left field. Aceves has been so good lately for the Yankees. Coming in, pitching 3 innings at a time. He can do a lot of different things. Kind of thought we might see Phil Hughes today, though, Michael. You know, I'm kind of looking for a chance to get Phil Hughes in the game. I know, obviously groomed as a starter. Be interesting to see when and if Joe Girardi can get a chance to get Hughes in the game at some point.
Pitch is low to Upton. last time he pitched was as a starter on May 31st. So it's been 7 days. Pitch is high. And Phil's saying all the right things. And why wouldn't you? As Phil Cope begins to warm, you'd rather do anything up here than do anything down there. So what's he going to say? Well, I want to be a starter down in Scranton. Of course he'll say, yeah, I'll be the bat boy here in New York. He'd rather be in the big leagues. So he's had the right attitude. 2-1.
I talked to Joe Girardi about his bullpen makeup right now, and obviously they don't have a defined eighth inning guy to get to Rivera. Marte on the DL and Brian Bruni trying to come back from injuries, but he likes the versatility of guys that can go 3 innings like a Savis. Tomko can go 3 innings. Hughes can go multiple innings. Robertson and Veras are more 1 inning guys on a day-to-day basis, but he can kind of power through that 8th inning role with guys like a Savis. Nothing wrong with having guys that are more versatile. They can start, relieve, long relieve. If you can pitch 3 innings, you can pitch 1 inning. You know, Savis certainly has been good enough to pitch in an 8th inning role. You get him in here in the 7th, and he'll go probably 2 or 3 innings, the game willing, as long as he's throwing well and getting them out.
Runner was going. That one's driven into right center field. Giving chase is Swisher. He makes the play. They could have a double play. The throw to first is not in time. Just getting back is Brignac. He was all the way around second, had a backtrack, and just got in ahead of the throw from Swisher.
Swisher had to cover a lot of ground. The ball just hung up there enough for him to get it, and you see all in one motion, wheeling and dealing. Got a little too much air under that throw. Teixeira with the stretch. Nice running catch. He's the only guy that could have made that play. Melky was shaded the other way. Pretty good effort.
Good call by the home plate umpire, Scott Barry, who rotated over to first base. Here is Carl Crawford. Pitch is high.
Crawford on the day. Anytime you got an 0 for 3 going against this guy, the type of year he's having, keep him off the bases is the key. That's a guy you have to contend with. If you're a starting pitcher looking at the opposing lineup of the Rays, you look at this guy right here. Keep him off the bases today. Even though the Yankees are down 3-1 so far, pretty good job of that up until now.
Snap throw to first, and Brignac's back. Count 2-1. After Brignac went on that pitch to Upton, they're paying a lot of attention to him. Count 3-1.
Well, Michael, up in Detroit today, we got the young New Jersey kid, Rick Porcello, up there pitching. Off to a great start for the Tigers. 4-4. He's given up 4 runs in 5 innings so far. Still in the game. Tied up with the Angels, 4-4. Tony Saunders pitching for the Angels, the lefty.
Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Got him.
Called it, Michael. They paid attention to him, and he does not get a good jump. Savis is fairly quick to home plate, abbreviated leg kick, and Brignac knows he's just dead meat. Good delivery from Aceves, held him close. Posada, nice throw, quick release right there. Posada certainly has answered a lot of questions about how his throwing ability was going to be this year after last year's injury to his shoulder and subsequent offseason surgery. Posada's thrown well, quick release. Foul back.
Rays lead the Yankees. 2 outs, nobody on. Crawford's 0 for 3. Full count. As Aceves gets a sign from Posada. And the pitch. Strike 3. Crawford down looking. So Aceves faces the minimum 3. No runs a hit, no errors. Because of the caught stealing, nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. Yankees are trailing 3-1, but we stay right here and honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Inning, Yankees are trailing 3-1, and it'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order. Matsui, Swisher, and Cabrera against Joe Nelson in his 2nd inning of work. Right now, the pitcher of record for the Rays on the winning side is Matt Garza. He went 5 innings, gave up just 1 run. Nelson, a scoreless 1-2-3 6th, and now he's in there for the 7th. And the pitch. Low 1-0. Matsui 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls to second base. And the count 2-0. And the count 3-0. More action in the Rays bullpen, and this is what Joe Maddon's gonna have to do. It's gonna be a stressful rest of the year unless they get back Percival. He's got to mix and match all the way to the final out. Grant Balfour is up. And there's a strike. And the count is 3-1.
A little bit of a high strike, top of the zone, 3-0, maybe a little automatic. Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, has been very consistent today, although definitely more on the hitter side. A little tighter with his zone, a little more strict, but very consistent. And a good day back there.
That one's driven out to center field, but Upton, shading his eyes, will put it away for the first out. With Nick Swisher coming up, a perfect time to show you the Land Rover drive of the game, David.
And a drive it was. Out away from him. Both arms fully extended into the Yankee bullpen. Down with the rosin bag. Up with the high fives. Nick Swisher. Land Rover drive of the game.
And here's Nick Swisher. He's had that home run and a walk. And the pitch. Fastball strike. Grounded to first. Nice play by Pena. Flips to Nelson. 2 away. Hey, coming up after the final out, it's the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. Get a recap of today's game against the Rays, including highlights from around the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones will talk to the players in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out, only on Yes.
We talked about flashing some leather. Gold glove caliber first baseman in this game. Pena and Teixeira with great plays today. Down the line, good range. Easy flip to Nelson for the out.
And Cabrera hits a fly ball to left. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Joe Nelson and the Rays. Yankees go down in order. They've gone down 7 in a row when we go to the 8th. Willie Ibar leads up against Alfredo Aceves as we start the 8th, and he starts him off with a strike. The 0-1. Off speed, swung on the miss. Grounded foul. George Hendrick wanted no part of that. Didn't even try to bend down, just wanted no part of it. Hey fans, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the two of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. You can text your vote to 58772. Those are today's candidates. Fouled off, we'll give you another look, but you can vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Nick Swisher's number 1. Gabe Gross, number 2. BJ Upton, number 3. Matt Garza, number 4. Again, 58772 is where you text to. Standard text messaging rates apply. Swing and a miss. Ibar down on strikes.
See right there, the 3-finger changeup grip. You see the white of the ball. It's a sure sign that you know it's going to be a changeup. And a good one. Down and away. Walk the dog. Aceves has got some pitches. Cutters, changeups, curveballs, spots his fastball both sides. Very versatile pitcher.
Pitch to Pena. Low and inside, 1-0.
Gives us a chance to put a little bow on Jabba Chamberlain's outing today, Michael. You know what? Boy, he had a good one going. I know he's feeling disappointed right now. He kind of let it get away from him in the 6th inning. He lost a little command of his fastball, even though his velocity was going up throughout the game, and some of his best fastballs velocity-wise were in the 6th inning. But he certainly lost a little command. Gabe Gross, obviously the big blow, a 2-run single with the bases loaded. Part of it got away from him, but I tell you what, he could have given up 5 runs too. He came back after that Gabe Gross single. He had 2 runners in scoring position. It could be 5-1 right now. So it's to his credit, after giving it up, he came back and got out of that inning. But overall, I'm sure Jabba's disappointed. He had a great start going. His pitch count was in good shape going into that 6th inning. He ended up throwing over 30 pitches in the 6th inning. His day was done. But as you said, Michael, still, you got the team in the game. 6 innings, 3 runs, could have been a lot better. He only walked 1 guy, 4 strikeouts, 5 hits in 6 innings, 3 earned runs.
You know, we talked about this on the batting practice show today when we broke down Java's previous 2 starts. I think sometimes the expectations for this kid, and that's what he is in Major League parlance, he's still a kid, are just off the charts. I think you expect him to throw a shutout every time out. But giving up 3 runs in 6th inning is certainly not bad. Now, it's amplified by the fact the Yankees only scored 1 so far. But 3 and 6 is a quality start.
Well, certainly by Major League averages nowadays it is. But, you know, I think Jabba feels like he had a really good one going. And he was going to go deep into the game again. He had his pitch count in shape to get back into the 8th inning possibly. The 6th inning, throwing over 30 pitches in that 6th inning, really shot his pitch count up. Put a damper on his day, but all in all, pretty good stuff. Jabba continues to mature. He continues to mix all his pitches well. We saw some good changeups again today from Jabba. Breaking balls, sliders. His mix of pitches was probably 54% fastballs and 46% off-speed pitches, including sliders, breaking balls, more curveballs, and changeups. So a pretty good mix of pitches. Just lost a little command and feel for his fastball in that 6th inning.
Hot shot foul.
Meanwhile, Aceves with another impressive start. As you see, 25 pitches total, 16 and 9 strikes to balls. He's got a lot of different ways he can finish hitters. We saw him with a backdoor cutter slider to finish last inning. Got another situation where a finish pitch right here on a really tough hitter.
Two. Foul back. In terms of job as a starter, and the debate will rage on. He's made 23 career starts, and he's allowed more than 3 runs just 3 times in his 23 career starts. Now, that's somewhat skewed because in some of the starts, he was on a pitch count, went 3-4 innings, but 23 starts, and he's allowed 3 or more runs just 3 times. 2-2. Inside. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. It's a 3-2 count to Pena, the cleanup hitter for the Rays. Sebas deals. He struck him out. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 3 strikeouts in a row for Sebas. Hey, Wednesday night, the Emmy Award-winning Yankeeography returns for the first of 3 new episodes this summer. It all kicks off with 80s great Dave Winfield profiling one of the team's most feared hitters. Yankeeography Dave Winfield premieres Wednesday at 11, only on Yes.
See, after all the off-speed pitches to Pena, he's going to dial it up. Fastball up and away, little movement on it. Had a little hop on that fastball up to 91, 92 miles an hour.
Pitch to Zobrist is off-speed and outside. 1-0. Strike.
Yeah, Sebas is just completely unpredictable. He's got so many weapons. Certainly not a power guy by fastball velocity standards, but boy, he's got some weapons, and he can throw just about everything in the kitchen sink in there. Curveball, nice changeup right there at 81 miles an hour. He's got a cutter to both sides of the plate. He knows how to add a little bit with his fastball, as we saw with Pena on the strikeout. Let's see where he goes here. Completely unpredictable.
1-2. Just missed inside. He's throwing pitches 79 miles an hour. That's why 91 blows by people, because they just kind of rock to sleep. Two. He struck him out. Changeup. He strikes out the side. In fact, he struck out the last 4 Rays in a row. They go down in order. 1, 2, 3. And we go to the 8th, top of the Yankee order coming up. Of the game brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Plays, David, plays.
Bonus cantos for Geico today. Mark Teixeira with a little pick and then some range from the knees. Here comes A-Rod barehanded to get a speedy Carl Crawford. And then a backhand. Nice play. And here comes Melky into your pitcher with a dive to save a couple of runs. Those are the Geico plays of the game.
Well, the Yankees would like to make some noise right now offensively. They've done a good job defensively. And now they'll have to face Grant Balfour, a hard-throwing right-hander. And he threw 20 pitches yesterday, 1 inning, a hit, 2 runs, and 1 walk. And the walk was controversial. He was complaining about it after he was taken out of the game. You see his numbers so far this year, about a strikeout per inning. He's walked too many, a 5.68 ERA. One thing that you notice about Tampa Bay when you take a look at what they've done this year, all of their young pitchers that all clicked at the same time last year, they're not clicking now. The bullpen's not the same. The starters aren't the same. Jeter leads off. Pitch is high. And a lot of people that you talk to in baseball say that's what happens when youngsters pitch innings they've never pitched before, and when youngsters pitch months that they've never pitched before. All of a sudden, they were always done at the end of September. They went down to the end of October. Those are difficult innings, too, stressful innings.
Very stressful innings, all the way through the end of October. This guy was a huge part of their bullpen last year. Just a breakout year last year. 6-2 with a 1.54 ERA in 51 games last year for the Rays. Had 82 strikeouts, too.
Jeter loops one to right field, but Joyce is there. And Joyce has had some adventures out there, 1 away.
Joyce choosing no shades today. Kind of cruises over. Little side saddle. Balfour's trying to get retain his form that he had last year so far this year. Power fastball, 95 right down the middle. He's a challenge kind of guy. Came into this game 2-0 with the Rays with a 5.68 ERA in 25 games so far this year.
Foul back.
Balfour broke in with the Twins in 2001. Along with the starter today, Matt Garza, also a former Twin. Worked his way through the Brewers in 07 and found his way to the Rays in 07 too.
Count still 1-2. Damon today is 1 for 3. Struck out, doubled, and then wrapped into a slow roller, fielder's choice, 1-5-2-6 in the 5th inning. Yankees really had a good opportunity in the 5th, couldn't get a run across. Damon's been swinging with a 2-tone bat most of the day, but he's probably run out of those. Now he's going to the solid black.
Grant Balfour, born in Sydney, Australia. Another one of the Australian connection. A lot of pitchers. Grant Lloyd, former Yankee lefty reliever from down under.
That one is looped into left field. It is a base hit in front of Crawford. Second hit for Damon.
Supposed to be a fastball in. You see the movement on the catcher's mitt. It ends up middle away and belt high. Johnny Damon doesn't try to do too much. Just a little fillet. Line drive to left, hump back. Perfectly placed. You don't want to hit this one too hard, Michael, because it'll carry you to the outfielder. That's why we call it a fillet job, like you're at a hibachi steakhouse. A little fillet Flay off a little piece of steak.
Pitch to Teixeira is low 1-0. I never heard that before.
That's why they call it a fillet. Like you got a knife, you just fillet it out there. Get yourself a little humpback line drive knock. Now you got Teixeira up. 1 out.
Teixeira's 0 for 3. J.P. Howell pitched yesterday, and he's getting hot.
Fastball hitter, fastball count. Same spot right here. 3-1. Balfour, a challenger. You can see his demeanor. He's a fiery guy out there. Not afraid to challenge guys. Teixeira, a great fastball hitter.
Driven down the right field line. It is a base hit. Up against the wall. Teixeira's going to stop it first. Big play. Big play by Joyce as Damon goes to third. That keeps a double play in order for Tampa Bay. He hit the ball too hard.
Well, he did. He gets a 3-1 fastball right down the middle at the knees. Gets the head out. This gets to that fence in about 0.9 seconds flat. One hop right to Joyce. No chance for Teixeira. Stop it first with a bullet single.
So Hickey comes out to settle down Balfour. And the Yankees again looking for some late inning heroics. Will it be Alex Rodriguez this time? This is a team that refuses to lay down. This is a team that battles back no matter what the deficit. This is a team that seems to enjoy late inning theatrics. Does it all click again today? Alex is 1 for 3 today. And Balfour deals. Count 1-0.
Balfour, not a ground ball pitcher. Obviously a power guy with four-seam fastballs, more of a fly ball pitcher. Chooses to go to slider. First pitch to A-Rod. A-Rod checks a swing with Cano on deck and J.P. Howell ready. A-Rod's got to look for a fastball up. He can drive. Chances are he'll probably get one.
Navarro goes out and talks with Balfour. Balfour seems pretty excitable out there. It seems like they have to settle him down. Yesterday when he got taken out of the game, he was fired up in the dugout. And you can unnerve him again, I guess.
Well, that's part of his strength, too. That's why he's such a competitor. We talked about him being from Sydney, Australia. A power guy, very aggressive pitcher, very highly emotional. A lot of indecision here, though. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out for a long discussion. Now Navarro. 2-0 pitch to A-Rod.
95 miles an hour. A-Rod trying to give the Yankees a lead with one swing.
Boy, this is it. You can see trying to come in. That ball's just above the belt, right down the middle. And A-Rod is right on it, just under it. Had it timed.
Well, he's laying off that breaking ball. He's seen it well out of Balfour's hands, so the count 3-1. They'd love him to swing at that and bang into a double play. Although he could swing at that and also put the ball over the right field wall. Damon's at third. Teixeira is at first. And the pitch. He walked him, and the bases are loaded for Robinson Cano. And with the lefty Cano coming up, they're going to call on Howell. Let's take a look at this at bat.
First pitch slider in the dirt. A-Rod checks. Another slider right there. Just misses. Good take by A-Rod. That's the pitch he wants back. Another slider. Good take again by A-Rod. Fastball up. A-Rod had one pitch to hit and missed it. Took the walk. Good at bat.
So now J.P. Howell, who's so good against righties, has to face a lefty Cano with the bases loaded. Stick around. Last night against Randy Choate. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and he crushed the ball to center field, but B.J. Upton ran it down, and that was the end of the ballgame that the Yankees lost 9-7. Now, Cano did come through in the 8th inning against his very same pitcher, J.P. Howell, and he sliced a single to left field. Howell's had trouble with lefties this year. They're 11 for 35 against him, 314. Righties are 10 for 68, 147. And you see his overall numbers, 35 strikeouts in 28 1/3 innings. Damon third, Teixeira second, Rodriguez first. Mouthful of seeds for A-Rod. Jeez. And here is Cano. He is 0 for 3. Count 1-0. Rays holding on to a 3-1 lead here at the stadium.
A really close pitch. J.P. Howell wanted that breaking ball.
Yankees 0 for 6. Runners in scoring position today. Garza, Nelson, Balfour, now Howell. And the 1-0. Grounded foul. In the outfield, Upton has a good arm, Joyce has a good arm, Crawford has a left fielder's arm. One. Missed outside, 2-1.
Well, we know B.J. Upton plays a shallow center field, but Carl Crawford's joined him in this at-bat with Robinson Cano and his pop to left field. You can see Crawford's pretty shallow in here, too, along with B.J. Upton. Obviously looking for a play at home plate on a base hit towards his way, Crawford and left. But Robinson Cano can find a gap. All three runners easily score.
The 2-1. 3-1. And there's no place to put Cano. Yankees take the lead. Mariano will begin to warm.
And you can bet he'd like another shot after his disappointment yesterday.
A crowd of 46,465. Most of them on their feet. And the 3-1. He walked him, and that'll force in a run. So Howell walks Cano. Coming home is Damon. The other runners move up, and the Rays lead 3-2.
Take a look pitch by pitch. Here's the pitch he wants. A breaking ball right there. Well, I'm wanting that if I'm on the mound. Fastball down and in, 1-1. Now he starts to miss. Definitely down to two fastballs. Just cannot control the fastball. Walks Robinson Cano. The first pitch of that sequence probably set up that walk.
And another trip by Hickey, who's going to get in a lot of work walking to the mound this year as he tries to nurse this bullpen and the staff through each out. Well, now you have a switch hitter, Posada at the plate batting right-handed. We told you Howell much more effective against righties, 10 for 68. That's 147. And we explained to you yesterday why he works off the extreme third base side of the rubber, and David, that means that he can command the inside part of the plate better.
Yeah, that's why he has such success against right-handed batters, because he's way over here on this side of the rubber, the third base side of the rubber, which gives him an angle on the inside corner to right-handed batters, both for sliders down and in and two-seam fastballs that move the other way back towards the inside corner.
And the pitch. Grounded toward third. It's booted by Ibar. Everybody safe in the game is tied at 3. That might have been an inning-ending double play if he fields the ball cleanly.
Well, it looks like Ibar gets ahead of himself. Like he's ready to go to third and make the tag before he secures the hop. And Posada did hit it fairly well. He gets the head out on this ball. Hits it fairly well, although straight down into the ground. Ibar's already looking at third base to make a tag and maybe go to first for a double play, and just gets caught in between. A big break for the Yankees right there.
Tampa Bay with 4 errors yesterday. A big error right there. Here is Matsui. Base is still loaded. Still just 1 out. And that one is a chopper over the mound. There's one. On to first. Not in time. A-Rod scores and the Yankees lead 4-3. David Matsui finds that extra gear when he has to beat out a double play.
Well, a cue shot, a breaking ball at the end of the bat, straight down in front of the plate. Matsui's got a hump. Posada's got a choice right now. Do you stop or do you get tagged? Dangerous choice by Posada. Luckily, Matsui gets down the line for the Yankees. Potential mistake by Posada here. Matsui does run pretty well there. He knows he's got to get there. He humped. That's the best he's got right now, and he does make it.
An RBI, Yankees lead 4-3. Here is Nick Swisher. Runners on first and third. And the pitch upstairs. 1-0. So 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Yankees take a 4-3 lead, and they are looking for more as Mariano Rivera begins to throw. And the pitch. Low if you're looking ahead to the 9th inning. Joyce, Gross, and Navarro will face Rivera.
Wow, for J.P. Howe, you're thinking right now, man, a walk and 2 cue shots up the end of the bat. And now you've given up the lead. Ball hasn't left the infield.
Good eye on Swisher as the count goes to 3-0. On deck is Melky Cabrera.
Another really close pitch. You can see the Tampa Rays bench is giving it to Scott Berry right now.
And the 3-0. He walked him, and the bases are reloaded for Melky Cabrera. So the Yankees have batted around Cabrera, the 9th Yankee to come to the plate.
It's easy when you're on the mound to become unnerved when you throw pitches, especially the first pitch of an important sequence that you think are strikes that get called balls. J.P. Howe certainly has been a victim of some close calls, but then he's fallen apart afterwards too. He's had chances to come back. 2 big walks, one to walk in a run, and now he loads the bases again.
Yankees send in a pinch runner. Angel Baroa will pinch run for Matsui now that Matsui had moved into scoring position. And here's Melky Cabrera, 0 for 2. A walk. He has a 4-game hitting streak on the line. And the pitch. 1-0. If you're going to miss, this is not the team to miss against. They will not expand the strike zone for you. 14 of Melky Cabrera's 23 ribbies this year have come in the 7th inning or later. A couple of ribbies out on the pond right now. 0-1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Grounded foul way out in front of that pitch, and the count is 1-2.
Yankees just have 6 hits in this game, but 5 walks.
Melky in 2009 hitting .571 with 4 hits and 7 ribbies with the bases loaded. J.P. Howell deals. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did, said Ted Barrett, the first base ump, and that's going to do it for the Yankees here in the 8th. But they take the lead. They score 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 huge error, and the bases are left loaded. Last legs coming up for Tampa Bay. They'll do it against Mo. Player of the game is voted on by you, the fans, and the two of us here in the booth. And what was the choice, David?
It is Alfredo Aceves. Going to be the Chevy player of the game. A changeup down and away. There's one strikeout. There's two in a row. Backdoor cutter. How about another changeup? 3 in a row. He actually finished with 4 straight strikeouts and 2 scoreless innings. Really stabilized this game after Jabba had a tough 6th inning. Now you turn it over to this guy, Mariano Rivera. After a rough day yesterday, right back on the saddle, and a chance to save.
Mariano took the loss in yesterday's game. Gave up 4 runs. And Ben Zobrist started the inning with a triple. 23 games, 12 saves, 26 hits, 23 innings, and 28 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Joyce swings and fouls back, and that one of the 2 walks was the intentional walk to the pinch hitter, Evan Longoria, yesterday. Defensive changes for the Yankees. Gardner moves in center field. Melky moves from center to right, so Nick Swisher out of the game. The 0-1. Grounded toward first. Tough hop. Teixeira stays with it. 1 away. Well, coming up after the game, it's the WB Mason postgame show. Get a recap of the game against the Rays, including highlights from around the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones will talk to the players in the clubhouse. It is the WB Mason postgame right after the final out. That's what postgame is, only on Yes. Here's Gabe Gross. Right in off the fist, foul back to the screen.
It's Gabe Gross's 2 RBI single against Jabba. That was the big blow Jabba's day in the 6th inning.
So Jabba is off the hook. He cannot lose this game. Aceves is the pitcher of record as Rivera tries to nail it down. The 0-1 inside. Mariano seems a little more over the top today.
Yeah, Paul O'Neill and I talked about it. And we thought Mariano at times maybe he's a little lower with his arm angle. Sometimes his cutter flattens out when he gets in trouble. It looks like he's trying to get on top of it. That one really took off.
On the hands again, and the count is 1-2.
A little better velocity, up to 93 miles an hour.
And Rivera deals. He struck him out, 2 away.
Well, here's a case in point right here. This ball just takes off. Not only does it cut in, it's got a little depth to it. You see the way it hits Posada's glove? It's got a little bit of tilt to it. Certainly good velocity, good movement. Great location for a strikeout. That's more of the Mariano kind of old right there.
How's this for drama? Putting it all together. Yesterday, Mariano was told to walk Evan Longoria. He didn't want to. Joe Girardi insisted. Today was the big point of questioning. Rivera said, hey, I do what the manager tells me to, but I think I could get out anybody. Longoria has been out with a bad hamstring since the beginning of the week. So yesterday, he pinch hit and was intentionally walked, and BJ Upton followed with an RBI single. So now, Rivera has an opportunity to get Longoria for the final out as he pinch hits for Diana Navarro. 55 ribbies for Longoria. And the pitch. Foul back.
Another good cutter from Rivera, down and away to Longoria.
Mariano would like nothing better than to retire Longoria and then tell Joe, told you I could get him. Different situation, though. Longoria 2 for 6 against Mariano. One of the 2 a home run. 4-3 Yankees lead. Looking for another come-from-behind victory.
And we'll see right there, Posada suggesting that they go inside to Longoria. Mo shakes him off, wants to stay away. Posada still pushing him to go in. Rivera says, okay, I'll give in.
The 0-1. Quickly 0-2. Crowd of 46,465 looking for strike 3. Yankees simply want a third out. Even this series up at a game apiece. They lost yesterday 9-7. They're leading 4-3. Rivera on the mound trying to pick up the save. He sets at the belt. Longoria, the 0-2 high. 1-2. Longoria leads the major leagues with those 55 ribbies. And the 1-2 pitch. Grounded slowly to second base. Longoria can't run. The throw to first. Yankees win this one 4-3. Rivera gets the save. He retires Longoria, and the Yankees get their 20th come-from-behind victory of the season. 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning do it this time. Willie Ibar with a huge error at third base. And the Yankees win this one 4-3. And David, after a while, a team really believes it can come back from anything. This Yankee team never